Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Totally Online Gaming Group online D&D campaign on our Twitch channel. I would like to thank you all for coming and watching, and hope you have a good time and enjoy our show. I do have an announcement for tonight. We will be starting a second show on October 5th at noon that is going to be a Dungeon Master advice column called In the Beginning. That show is going to focus on advice for beginning dungeon masters who are starting up their first or second campaign and need some advice. I'll be covering things like world building, encounter building, how to develop NPCs, things like that. Also be able to answer any questions that you have on the chat when we do that show. So feel free to come and watch that show. It's going to be on October 5th, starting at noon Eastern Standard Time. That's kind of our big announcement for the night. Secondly, if you guys like what we do here, you're enjoying the show, you can always show your support by subscribing to the channel. Or if you just want to make comments in chat and talk to other people who are watching the show, comment on your favorite things, we love that kind of stuff. It shows that what we're doing is entertaining and people are actually enjoying it. So feel free to do those things. Also, if you missed any of our past episodes because you're new here or you weren't able to come to the 7 o'clock show and log in for that time, we do post our show on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Totally Online Gaming Group. And that gets posted every Saturday, usually by about 1 o'clock. Best way to know when that gets posted, of course, when you go to YouTube, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification and all that if you want. But if you want to watch our past episodes, that's a good place to catch them. Also, if it's just a recent past episode, you can watch it on Twitch on the video on demands, which keeps the last few episodes that we have done. And we'll also put highlights out now and then. Now, announcements out of the way, all that being said, I would like to welcome you to the Blackest Heart. All right, welcome back. Now, where we left off last week, everyone, we had quite a little trek through the wilderness. You had been given a task of taking this stone that you had found that was now concealed within a case, as well as a strange magical protection that Father Dimspoon had cast upon it. It now resides in Dalian's backpack, and you were tasked with taking that to Asteron, to the Church of Palor there, where hopefully they could find some way of figuring out more about what this is and protecting it, and keeping people safe from it. You were also tasked with taking this hurt bard along with you to hopefully find them some better healing, because the limited resources in West Shore and the limited powers of Father Dimspoon were not enough to purge this strange infection from the bard's body. As you journeyed out from West Shore, Oak took the lead, saying, "I know the wilderness, I can take you where you need to go," and that he did, leading the party as they started their travels. You ended up having fairly comfortable, uneventful travel for the most part. You made camp one night, and had a little bit of a party, having some drinks now and again, and pulling out some evil contraptions, as they were dubbed, which completely shocked some of the party members as to what the heck that thing is. As you carried on, you eventually started to near the lake, and you could see clouds on the horizon as rain began to come in, and a choice had to be made. Do we try to seek shelter within a ravine that Oak had spotted off to the south? Or do they head more towards the lake, where a small cabin had been spotted? Party chose to investigate the cabin, where, after basically breaking and entering, they were surprised by the occupant who had come back from hunting, and they met a very gruff person named Grum. They had a restful night's sleep, and the bard even got some interesting homeopathic medicine that Grum seems to be concocting on his own out of things he's found in nature and other strange ingredients. And it has seemed to have a little bit of an effect. The poison, the infection, seems to be subsiding a little bit. At that point, Oak, hearing that from Grum that there's a good thing you didn't stay in the ravine because of the wolves, Oak jumped up saying, "What?" and began to take off in the direction of the ravine. And that is where we left off. So, Oak,
Yes.
I take
Don't
it you are still heading towards the ravine.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Okay.
Oak wants a dog.
Just let Oak show up with a giant wolf.
Exactly.
Yes, that is something that would be interesting, wouldn't it? So, Oak is heading off towards the ravine. It is still raining out. You can actually hear the rain coming fairly steadily. It's not super heavy, but you're gonna be damp if you're spending a long time out in this weather. Does anyone decide they want to follow Oak, or is Oak going all by themselves?
I'll go follow.
I'll go.
Would my character know they're going?
Oh yes, yes. Rhea, for the
Damn it!
for the
I
majority
wanted
of
to go.
the of the
Stop giving me
trip,
adventures.
for the majority of the trip, has been sleeping. In fact, when you guys are getting ready to, when you're waking up that morning and starting to pack your stuff up before Oak decides to take off, you kind of wonder where the heck Rhea is. Go ahead and
Oh, I'm not.
everyone give me a perception check. Everyone.
Oops.
Everyone can do that.
Hang on, I forgot I'm not on roll 20. My bad.
All right. Well, you don't have to roll perception, Rhea.
Yes, you must perceive where you are.
You must perceive your own location.
Where am I?
So,
Load.
as of right now, Zoran, you hear what sounds like a very light, mild snoring sound coming from one of the large packs on the back of the pack horse. Dalian, you hear it as well.
Did she sleep outside in the rain all night? You know what? I ain't even mad. It means I didn't have to deal with it.
Do any of you wake her up?
I'll just let her sleep and follow. Oak.
Let her sleep on the horse. I'm going with Oak.
Okay. So, Rhea, I actually want you to make a perception check now.
Not gonna keep that for?
You can, if you want.
No, no, no.
Okay, a 21. You start having a dream that you're swimming. The water is nice and cool, and it feels relaxing. But then it's getting colder and colder, and you feel like you're actually getting wetter, if that's even possible. And you start to shiver a little bit, and you wake up inside the bag, which is now soaked, as are you. You don't feel like you got the best night's sleep waking up in this position and being soaking wet. But it's not the worst you've had either. So you are now awake, but you're still inside the bag.
Alright, I will try to get out of the bag.
Okay.
Kids fall out of the bag.
Well, you're the one who got yourself in there. It's really not difficult for you to worm your way out of it. You guys see movement of the bag, and all of a sudden the main flap opens up, and out pops a completely drenched Rhea, who actually looks slightly different. And Rhea, you can go ahead and, if you want, and describe what they see.
Alright, so as you see Rhea, you start to see this glimmer coming from her skin. And you look a little closer, and it looks like she now has scales. Just slightly around like her eyes and a little bit like just down her arm. And then she goes, like she has the loudest stomach growl ever. And then just collapsed to the ground.
Okay, so if she's no longer a human, does that mean we can finally cook her? Because she looks like a fish.
Well, never human to begin with.
You would know, looking at it, that those are not fish scales. Those are definitely not fish scales. Yeah, yeah. But you know they're not fish scales, so she might not taste like a fish. I mean, you can always
I'm not
try.
gonna eat her. I just want to cook her.
Oh, okay. Well, it might not.
Thanks.
It might not make the nice, delicious cooked fish smell that you'd want, but you can always try. So, all four of you are awake, with Oak, who is already a good 60 feet beyond you, just trucking along, determined to get to that ravine.
Yep.
And the rest of you, including you, Rhea, see Oak taking off southwards towards an area of land that looks like all of a sudden it dips down, like there's a drop off, and then kind of a path that comes around, almost like it's coming between hills, but at a steeper angle, going down into what you can only assume would be a ravine, but you're not sure because you were asleep the whole time.
I would
If
reach
we
into my
die
bag.
because you want a puppy, Oak, I swear to God.
I would reach into my bag, grab some food, eat a little bit, and then start running after Oak.
Okay. And Zoran, you were
You're
gonna.
a good way behind.
And Zoran and Dalian, you two were also gonna take after Oak.
Yep.
The moment Oak started walking away, Diane kind of got this, well, fuck, look on her face and just walked after him.
That's probably the appropriate look. All right. So all of you are heading after Oak, who's got a good lead on you, and it takes you a few minutes, especially as the ground is completely soaked, and in some places getting a little bit muddy, especially as you're getting closer towards the ravine. Oak, you arrive first at this swath of land that curves down and around the drop off that is the edge of the ravine. And it's getting quite muddy in this area. As you
Oblivion.
are looking around, it's fairly obvious that there is been quite a bit of foot traffic through here, animal foot traffic, and
Okay.
with with your experience in the woods, you know that those look like wolf tracks, but they are a lot bigger than you're used to.
Oak's eyes go wide, and not out of fear, but there's like a little sparkle of excitement, like the anime eyes.
And
He's really
And
excited.
we're going to die.
and when I see the huge footsteps, can I activate my Crimson Right on my staff?
Absolutely.
All right.
Go ahead and make
And
sure you mark on your D&D Beyond sheet whenever you use one of your
Yep.
abilities, just to keep track. It helps. Helps you keep track. Also helps me keep track if I have to go back and look. But I pretty much rely on you guys to keep track of your own stuff that way.
You could put it here.
now Oak may be an idiot, but he's not stupid. So he's not gonna rush down into the ravine because he knows
Okay.
that would be suicide. That's the wolves' territory, and now he has to be polite and calmly walk into the territory as not a threat.
Okay. So you've slowed down a bit
Yes.
as you come to the decline that is quite
Mhm.
muddy and slippery. As Oak slows down, Zoran, Dalian, and eventually Rhea, whose little legs have to keep up, finally catch up to where Oak's at, and you see the same thing. All of the mud leading down this decline. Yep, okay. And large tracks.
She would just look at Oak and go, and you're going to kill us all.
Maybe.
What are we looking for?
You're supposed to say no.
There are wolves in this ravine, and I think I might be able to get us a wolf puppy thing.
I would like a puppy.
So you
Let's
expect
do
to
it.
walk into a pack full of wolves that are bigger than horses, judging by this, and just take a puppy.
Not really a puppy, because all dogs are puppies. And wolves are kind of dogs, but but I expect to at least befriend one of them.
A pack of vicious man-eating wolves, and you
We
expect
don't
to
know
just
if
walk
they're
up and
man-eating, but
befriend
if they
them.
are, that's a good reason to be man-eaters.
I like this plan. This is good plan.
Then you're the bait.
No, I'll be the bait. I have the best probably animal connection.
I
think.
meant bait as in throw her in there and let them eat her.
Why would we do that? She's small.
Then they'll be
Exactly.
full and they won't eat us.
They'd
I'm too-
prefer someone like me or Zoran, who has much more meat on their bones.
I'm
They
too
devour
tall
her
to
in
be
By
like
here.
throwing
2
her in the
seconds.
ravine and letting the wolves eat her.
They devour Rhea in 2 seconds, though.
That's the point.
And then they'd be after you. Throw me in the ravine, and it'll take them like a good 10 minutes.
Hey, I'm
Not
not
if you
that
like.
weak, okay? I could kill wolves.
Sure.
I need perception checks from everyone. Being that it is overcast,
No.
Hey.
there is a small penalty to the check.
I don't think I need a penalty.
No, no. Dalian and Rhea, both of you, as you guys are standing at this decline, notice that about 60, 70 feet away, on the side of what is the drop from the higher level of the earth, that there seems to be a cave entrance in the rock, and the tracks seem to be going from this decline that you are on back and forth along it and to that cave.
Hey, oh, I
Uh-huh.
point to the cave. I think that's where they are. I see tracks.
Okay.
Which means death. Maybe you should go first.
That's what you think. And Oak just calmly starts to go up.
I calmly follow.
And he tries to like he's not scared at all. He is not scared.
Okay.
Dalian's more just done with the situation as she falls behind Oak. It's been less than 5 minutes and she's already done.
I will be completely hiding behind Oak. I am still like wolf.
All right. And Zoran, are you staying put or are you joining them?
I'll stay like 10 feet behind in case something tries to get us from the rear.
Okay.
What are you doing?
So as you
Why?
begin walking,
Use
you
yours. It was
you
your
are
arrow.
approaching the mouth of the cave, and what you
Don't you-
see when you get there is before you the cave opening is approximately 15 feet wide and about 15 feet tall. It looks like a natural cavern in the stone. And
Then we're going to die.
That's what you think.
Some of us aren't that lucky.
this is what you see. A cave entrance right here. And Father Dimspoon is with you, by the way. He's following along dutifully behind, making sure that none of you get injured or need a hand or any help.
It's not loading for me.
Yeah, all I have
You
is a
may
black
need to
string.
refresh then your roll 20. Sometimes you have to refresh it.
Right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to point out that the party hasn't seen this before, but my staff is starting to crackle with a little bit of lightning
Mm-hmm.
for a little effect.
All right.
How dark is it? Like where we are?
Well, right now outside it's like this is relatively early in the morning.
Yeah.
It is
If she's playing on my account.
overcast, so it's kind of like being in dim light or half light. It's still light enough that you can see outside, no problem. Especially those of you with dark vision, which I think is pretty much every one of you that's here.
I don't think I have dark vision.
Say again?
I don't think I have dark vision.
You may. Let me take a look. Where did your token go? There it is. But I think you do.
How would I have had it though? I don't think halflings just get it, and I didn't get any.
Right. Nope, you don't. You're a halfling. That's right. So, no, you don't. You're the only one who doesn't.
I'm gonna cast light on my witch hat just so that I can see better.
No, you're gonna spook off all the wolves.
Yeah, it's still not loading.
Spook them.
Counterspell.
All right. Is anyone else having problems with the roll 20 screen not loading for them?
No.
Um, yeah, it's still all black.
Do you see all black? Is that the problem?
I
Okay.
see my token at the very bottom, and then all black.
All right. Hold on. Dalian, yours is probably just not
So
turned
the
on
map,
correctly.
I can see some of the cave part, but
There.
none of the icons are loading. There we go.
Yeah. Yours was just the token wasn't set up quite right. Sometimes that happens. It doesn't always capture all the data when I copy from one page to another. And Rhea, so you're casting light on what? On your hat, you
Yeah.
said? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stick against the walls and try to stay as in a shadow as I can. Like, I don't want to die.
We're not gonna die. They're just friendly
Okay.
puppies.
I've been attacked by more friendly puppies than vicious mongrels.
Okay, so now Rhea, you should be able to see since
Yeah.
you activated light. Can anyone else not see? I'm
No, it
wondering.
finally loaded for me, so.
Okay. Oak, did you move somewhere?
No.
I think I'm on top of Oak.
Uh,
There we go.
yes, you are. All right.
Ah, I got
Okay,
moved.
and yeah, that was me.
And I have no tokens again.
That's because I moved you outside of the area so I could double check. Yep. Okay, so that's all saved. Okay. So you should all be able to see, correct? Zorn, you can see as well? All
Yep.
right. Okay, so you come across this cave entrance. Like I said, it is natural stone cave.
I'm putting
It
it
is
upside
about
down.
15 feet across, about 15 feet high at this entrance. And it leads fairly deep, it looks like, into the side of this cliff face, this, face of the ravine. It's kind of angling down a bit. And it looks like ahead of you, as far as you can currently see, it curves around towards the right a little bit. There's also lots of muddy wolf prints leading in and out of this area.
Would I be able to know of any animal with footprints this size?
Give me a nature check. All you can tell and all you can remember is that these are wolves. You know what a wolf print looks like. It's definitely some kind of paw print. Yep. They're really big,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just really big wolf. That's all.
Okay. Uh,
Anyone
So
else? Is anyone else proficient in nature and would care to have a look at the paw prints?
I have good intelligence.
You can do a straight intelligence check. That's just 1d20 plus your intelligence modifier.
I don't remember what the modifier
I
was.
have -1 to nature. I can try.
Yeah, you can always try. If you're not proficient, it's going to be much harder. All right, Rhea. So that's your nature check.
Yeah.
All right. You think you've heard of wolves that are this size called dire wolves. You don't know too much about them other than they're very, very big.
Ooh, big dog.
Like the size of, as Dalian had said earlier, horses.
Ooh, super big dog. I like it.
They're also
This is why I don't
pretty
try to do
mean.
it anymore.
They are typically pretty angry creatures. They
Well,
tend to
that's why
stick
we
to their
got Oak.
pack. Yep.
I'm gonna just push Oak forward, knowing that these wolves could kill me. But if Oak is there, it should be okay. Oak told me it'd be okay.
Okay. Knowing nothing because of his check. And did Rhea even tell him that?
No.
Yeah. Okay. No.
I would just push you forward, push on your leg. Like, wouldn't get me anywhere, but I would try to push on your leg and be like, go befriend Puppy.
Oak would feel you pushing him, and he would take a step or two forward, and be like, "Okay, puppies, time for puppies."
All right.
And he goes in.
All right. You guys should have control of your characters. So go ahead and move
Quick
yourselves
question.
in. Yes.
So the way my quote unquote like I think it was called Cloak of Shadows or whatever else ability,
Mhm.
slip into shadow.
Yes.
So the way that explains is I can activate it and it stays activated until I unactivate it.
Yes and no. There is limitations on it.
Is there? 'Cause it's not
Yes.
telling me any.
Yes. Hold on one second. Get back into here. And where is... wrong one, of course.
Because it says I can use it and I just can't use it again until I rest.
Yeah.
But it's not
Yeah.
saying I have any limitations on it.
Well, there are limitations. It doesn't last 24 hours, I'll tell you that.
Well, no, but
Alright, hold on. I should be able to pull this up here, if it will. Alright. Yeah, and that's part of it is because that is, let's see if I can find the right thing. Where is it? That's under actions. There we go. Yeah. Basically, what the slip into shadow does is it means you can use the hide action as a bonus action. All
Okay.
that does is as soon as you attack or by some other means get discovered your location, then it's over. So as soon as you take some kind of action, like specifically like
Okay.
attacking, then that's the end of it. Because all the slip into shadows is really doing is instead of taking a full action on your turn to hide, it allows you to do it as a bonus action. But
Okay. I just
here's
wanted to hide from the
yeah.
wolves.
But here's the other thing is you also, because you are a second level rogue, have cunning action, which means that you can, as a bonus action at will, take take the dash, disengage, or hide action. So your slip into shadows, that
That's
it
more for combat. Meanwhile,
well, the other one's also for combat. It's
okay.
just that your slip into shadows is a racial trait that even
Mhm.
if you weren't a rogue, you would still get
Oh,
to use
okay.
that once. But because you are a rogue, it's kind of obsolete.
Okay.
All right. So it looks like Oak and Rhea have moved forward into the cave. Anyone else?
I'm trying, but I'm a little laggy at the moment.
All right.
I wanted to be behind them.
Dahlia's gonna look at the two in front of him. Was like, so, does anybody actually have an idea on a scale of how much these wolves are actually gonna kill us?
And I would say
Hopefully, no.
100%.
I
I
mean, they're
mean,
just
if we get on their
puppies.
nice size, then
There's the
Exactly.
child who's cowering behind the legs.
I'm not cowering, I'm pushing.
That's cowering.
No.
Then stop
I-
hiding behind Oak.
Alright, fine. I will step in front of them.
Okay.
But just in case, attack them right away, because
All right. Say
I
that
mean,
again. You were kind of breaking up a second.
just in case the wolves are pissed off, let's not attack right away, because
Well, obviously.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you're gonna do the friend thing.
well, I mean, if I can't, then let's just book it, and instead of killing them.
I mean, can we run away from wolves? I'm pretty slow.
If we
I
trip
mean,
you, yes.
It might be better to just kill them.
Best way to
It'd be
outrun
safer.
something.
Oak gives you the most, just I don't know. It's just a very like
They can't fight me if they're dead.
I'm sorry, but if Oak is giving Dalian a disappointed look, she's
Yes.
just gonna smile at him.
And I'll say the Dalian there. We don't have to outrun the wolves. We just have to outrun the shrimp.
That's pretty much the point. Hence why you trip her.
That's so mean.
don't worry, I'll probably fall first.
All right. So, question for you guys: are you just walking in, or are you trying to do this stealthily?
I am hugging the wall and trying to be as quiet as possible.
Okay.
Oak is
Same
just
with-
walking in.
same
And
with
not
me.
be
Okay.
seen.
I'm aggravated. I'm just walking in with Oak.
Okay. So
Walking side by side.
anyone who is trying to be quiet, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Oh god.
Okay.
21!
Nice. All right. Okay, so you're continuing to move up. And let's see here. As you are moving forward, you get to this curve in the cave as it turns to the right. And you see a set of like kind of naturally formed steps in front of you that are leading up onto a level that's maybe, just a foot or two higher. It's not very many steps, not very high. And the cave also seems to open up towards the right. And then on the stairs you can see as they go up that that platform level seems to have an entrance towards the left and a small opening into a smaller cave-like area at the back of it.
Oak keeps going in.
Same.
But he's a little more
Giant's just hugging
cautious
the
now.
wall and staying out of it.
All right.
Oak is being a little more cautious now because he knows they're treading into their den and their territory, and he doesn't want to start anything.
Okay. So are you still just walking normally, or are you trying to stealth?
He's being a little quieter, but he's not trying to stealth.
Okay.
He's kind of trying to make his
Dalian
presence
is trying to hide as
known,
much as possible.
Oak is trying to make his presence known, but not in a threatening way.
All right. So I need all of you to give me perception checks.
22.
Oh no.
Okay.
Dice gods, why have you forsaken me?
So the sharp ears of Zoran and Dalian, even though they are farther back,
Elves for the win.
pick up what sounds like water dripping and a faint growling sound, just like a...
Oh god, they're already angry. Dalian would snap to get Oak's attention and be like, Oak, you've realized they are already pissed off.
Well, yeah, we're in their den. I mean, we could go back outside and wait for them, but I don't want you guys to catch a cold.
I'll be fine. I'm used to
You'd rather
cave.
us catch the teeth?
Also, I hope you realize, if one tries to kill me, I am going to kill it.
Okay, but that's self-defense. Just don't kill it needlessly.
This was a horrible idea.
That's your opinion and you're entitled to it.
It is also my opinion. But I have to come and babysit.
She'd be mildly offended at that. Because she's not sure if it was directed at her or the others.
Alright, the growling sound goes silent. You can't hear it anymore.
I'm still hiding.
Oak isn't going to
So
move
am
any
I.
further.
And I got a really high stealth roll, so...
Okay, one at a time now. What was that, Rhea?
Have I been told of this growling sound? Like, has anyone informed me there was growling?
Oh, no, I only told Oak.
Alright, I will take a step forward.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
So, Rhea, you see
Yeah.
about 25 or so feet away from you
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah, 25.
giant wolf. This thing is the size of a large horse. Its hair on it, all the way along its back, is bristled as its yellow eyes are staring straight at you. And this low growl is coming past its lips. And it just stares.
I'm gonna take a step back and whisper to Oak, "Hey, the puppy right around the corner. You wanna befriend it now?"
Okay. I'll take
Galleon
it.
would try to
Oh, hi,
know.
puppy.
would oh.
You see what
Yep.
I described to Rhea, and you've seen wolves before.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot like that, just a
Yeah.
lot bigger.
Oh, the anime sparkle in the eyes again. He's very excited.
We're gonna die.
Right, Zoran, what are you doing at this point?
I am waiting. Uh, I'm waiting back and watching the children.
Okay. All right. Always babysitting. Got it.
Still hiding.
And Dalian, you're still hiding. Okay.
And still hugging the wall.
Okay. This
And
thing.
I got a really good stealth roll, so.
Yeah. This thing sees you.
Yeah.
It's staring at you and growling.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing anything?
Oak gets down low, like in like a submissive form, to show that he's not trying to be a threat. He's not trying to take over its den or anything, and he's going to take a step to the side to see if there's any more wolves.
Okay.
And, but very slowly.
Okay. You can go ahead. You
so
can go ahead and move yourself if you want.
I
there.
did.
All right.
And
Give me a perception check.
okay. Ooh.
Okay. You notice you can actually see right and at the edges of your vision here.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get it to do it.
I see it.
Yeah, you can see right over this way.
Yeah.
Just at edges of the shadows. Looks like another tail. Just as big. The creature, the giant wolf here, still growling with its teeth bared, takes one step in your direction.
Okay. Oak is still gonna stay low.
Alright. Give me an animal handling check.
Okay.
You got this, Adam? Can I get
don't.
low as
I have a
well
minus
when
one
I
to
see
wisdom.
Oak doing this?
Yes, you can definitely get low as well.
I'm trying to show that we are
Oh no.
group.
Okay.
God, I hope we don't die.
It moves one step closer, still growling.
Can we hear it getting louder?
Oh yes. You guys hear the growling gets louder, and you can hear the movement and shifting of weight as these huge paws are moving slowly but surely towards Oak.
Alright, and I will move up closer to Oak as well.
Oak puts up a hand to stop you from coming any further, and because he just doesn't want anyone else to get hurt. If this is his mistake.
Yeah, you have to realize with wolves, if more people start showing up, they'll
Yep.
see it as a threat.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna crawl back.
And
I'm
Zoran.
still trying to hide in the shadows, but
Okay,
I'm
well,
getting closer.
give me another stealth roll.
Alright.
Very nice stealth. You are a stealthy beast. Alright.
Oak is like, he's not deterred at all, because if he knows that he gets scared, it's gonna set the wolf off, and it's definitely gonna kill him then. So he just goes, hi, and he reaches out a hand He's just
Okay.
like, "Hi, puppy. You're such a handsome puppy," and he
My
just
hand.
makes cooing noises because hey, puppy, and he's trying to do like the toothless thing with the How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It steps one step closer.
God, that thing's huge. It just now entered my character's field of vision.
And you also see behind it,
Oh, hello, another puppy.
its mate steps out from the
Ah,
shadows and is now looking down the natural stone corridor in your direction.
okay.
It is
Oh,
right there in front of you. It's probably only now about 1 to 2 feet between its mouth and you.
okay.
Meanwhile, Dalian's over here trying to control her breathing, being completely calm and just hugging this wall. Like, because she can see that wolf now, and that wolf does not look pretty.
And Oak is going to quietly signal to the others to get out. Because this shit's gonna go down if he doesn't do this right.
Oh, hell no. I had a good stealth roll. I am hidden where I'm at. I'm not moving, otherwise I have to roll it again.
And I am staying where I am watching.
Okay, Zoran, you are actually managed to be kind of at the base of the stairs and that rock wall. Find a fairly convenient little nook that you kind of tucked yourself into. And as close as that thing is, it doesn't seem to notice you. Dalian and Rhea, you know,
Well,
I would actually say Oak, you get the impression as well that it has not actually noticed anyone else.
Okay.
You're not entirely sure, but it's not acting as if there's others present and a huge threat that it needs to deal with.
Okay.
Is it just these two wolves, just the main one and its mate?
I don't know.
That's
Shelby?
all we've seen. That's all we know of.
Oak is
My
still
yogurt melted.
still kneeling on the ground, being smaller than the wolf because it's a sizable horse. Jeez.
Okay.
And he's trying to be really submissive, so he's not a threat, and just be as calm as possible.
Okay. I want you to give me this time, a persuasion check at advantage.
Yes.
the puppy.
Okay. It's still growling, but its lips close a little bit. It is not baring its teeth as much, and the volume and intensity of the growling seems to back down a little bit.
Okay. Can Oak gently, very slowly too, try and put a hand like right behind its ear? Not on the muzzle. Not anywhere near
Okay.
the mouth.
Okay. I'll say
Nom, 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 nom.
yeah. Oh, you can go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you get about 2 inches past the side of its head, going towards the ear. And I need another persuasion check. Again, still at advantage. Okay. It's still looking at you intently, but it doesn't move. And your hand makes contact with soft, warm fur.
Yay. And he's just gonna start slowly scratching behind the ear and just saying,
Scratch,
"Oh
scratch,
yes, you're a
scratch,
good wolf. You're a good puppy."
It takes you a good 30 seconds of doing this. But eventually, what happens is the mouth closes and the fur on its back seems to kind of settle down gently,
Uh-huh.
and then it just looks at you and turns around and walks back.
Haha.
Its mate also goes with it.
Okay. Oak is
Can
going
I
to...
slowly move up towards the stairs now that they've moved away?
Absolutely, if you want.
And Oak is going to signal for them just to stay there. We don't want any shit to go down. We don't want anyone losing any limbs. If anyone's going to lose a limb, it's going to be him. And he's going to slowly follow.
All right, go ahead and slowly move yourselves. And what I'm actually going to do here, if everyone will stop moving for just a second, I am going to go ahead and put us in initiative order, just so that, movement and everything we can track. So everyone, what I want you to do is go ahead and select on your character icon, and then click on the initiative macro button.
How did you suddenly get in front of me?
Oh, me?
I'm
No,
not
the
trying
one
to
with
be
the shorter
sneaky.
legs than me.
Well, you're the one being stealthy. I'm
All
not.
right. Speaking
You can get
of
eaten first.
Rhea and Dalian, what's your dexterity, Rhea? What's your modifier?
3.
3. What about?
My dexterity modifier is 4.
Okay, so Dalian, you're actually going to be ahead of Rhea in initiative order. So, by the time Oak gets there, we're now in turn order just for movement purposes and stuff, depending. So we see what happens when. So, Dalian, you are currently up. You're able to move, up to your movement, and you can use, just like in combat, you can use a movement and then an action and a bonus action if you got it. But you're able to do those things to move how you want.
Essentially, I just want to slowly go up the stairs and stay hidden.
Okay.
So I don't know what all magnifies into that, but that's essentially it.
Okay. How far do you want to move?
Probably either right next to, so technically on top of Zoran, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, you've got plenty of movement to get there, so you can go ahead and move yourself there.
I just don't want to be out in the open because she's not. She's hugging the wall. So can
Yeah.
I put my token right on top of?
Well, you can't end your turn in the same space as another player.
Okay, but if I put it right next to, it's still
Yeah,
under the
you're
premise
still
of like she's against the wall.
you're still next to the
Okay.
wall in that case.
Okay, and is still.
Well,
Hi.
like if you moved here, you'd be next to the wall. You're not really next to the wall there, but you're still.
Okay, so that's what I was asking. Like,
Yeah.
so do I put it on the left side of Zoran?
Yeah, if you
Okay.
put it right there, you'd still be next to the wall.
Okay. But there.
Actually, one up, right there. There you go. Okay, Rhea.
I will be crawling on the ground.
Okay. Are you trying to be stealthy,
then-
or are you just wanting to crawl on the ground?
No, just crawling on the ground because I saw Oak do it.
Okay.
And then I would probably stop here when I see Oak, like
Okay.
fully.
All right. Then Zoran, you are up.
I'm actually going to try to get to the other side there and hide.
Okay. I'll need another stealth roll from you then. Okay. Alright. And okay. So, you moved there. So now it is back to your turn, Oak.
Okay. So Oak sees what's behind the curve, and once again, anime sparkles.
Okay.
And he's
What you see, what you're
yeah.
looking at there, you see what looks to be several young dire wolves, probably only 6 to 8 months old. You know, they're young pups.
Yeah.
Uh, they're still big for being so young. They're about the size of a normal wolf. But they're obviously still puppies because they look exactly like their parents, just a smaller version.
And probably a bit fluffier.
A little. A little. Coloration's a little different from here to there.
Yeah.
But they're they're definitely still puppies. In fact, as you observe them, a couple of them seem to be kind of play fighting with each other.
Yay! I have the yes the scenario. um, Oak is gonna come forward a little bit, and he's gonna stop by this wolf,
All right, go ahead.
and he's gonna wait until he knows he can go by and go see the pups.
As soon as you move there, that wolf, and let me adjust this so everyone can see a little better. As soon as you move there, that wolf, it was walking away from you before. It immediately turns towards you. Again, it's baring its teeth with a low growl, but it's not outright biting you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just standing pretty much right in your way and growling.
He's still low to the ground, and he's still very, very not intimidating at all. And he's just like, it's okay. I'm not gonna hurt them. I'm not
Okay.
gonna hurt you.
Give me another persuasion check with advantage.
Sweet.
Okay.
The dice gods
The
hurt my
the
orders.
wolf, this large wolf, stops growling, kind of moves aside just a hair, and turns, and it's watching you, but it moved aside just a little bit, and it's no longer growling or baring its teeth, but it's still got its gaze intent on you. Its mate is also just staring.
Okay. Oak is just gonna move a little bit to the side and just let the little pups see him. And he's not gonna move any closer to them. He's just gonna let them come to him.
Okay.
If they want to.
All right. That is Oak's turn. Dalian, it is your turn.
So there's a square right here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you could move there.
Okay. Still totally doing nothing but hugging the wall and hiding.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like,
You're
whatsoever.
you're still keeping within the same general shadows and area, so I won't have you roll another stealth check for that one. Okay.
She just wants to watch.
Yep.
Okay.
What?
Okay, so obviously someone wanted to play a little critical role soundbite there. It sounded like.
That was my phone.
That is an
Sorry.
That is an outstanding message tone, ringtone, whichever one it is. That is hilarious. I love that.
That's the message tone, and the ringtone is the theme song.
Awesome. Yeah, if any of you watching, if you can't tell, we are big time Critical Role fans. So at least a couple of us are, I know for sure. All right, so Dalian, as you move up to here, let me just double check something real quick.
Oh lord. If I have to befriend one of those wolves, it ain't gonna work.
Okay. This one that was staring at you, Oak,
Mm-hmm.
you notice all of a sudden it turns its head sharply to the left, and its eyes are now glaring straight at you, Dalian.
Like, she's
It's
not,
not,
at this point, she's not worried or scared. She's just watching and staying against the wall. Like,
and it's got its teeth bared as it
still not
as,
concerned.
as it looks at you. Rhea, it's now your turn.
So with those stealth checks, does Rhea see Dalian and Zorn?
No. They
Uh,
are sneaky as all heck. Somehow they have managed to find the since this is a natural cave, there are a lot of cracks and nooks and some shadows cast by stalactites and some stalagmites in here, and it's breaking up the light from your hat, which is uh, going
Still on.
still
Forgot
on
still.
and
about
going
that light spell.
and going and going a
Oh,
little ways,
jeez.
and it's going a little ways. But the stalactites, stalagmites, the angles of the walls, and everything are producing a bunch of shadows. And Dalian and Zoran must be somewhere, as far as you can tell.
So Rhea's gonna like get clearly nervous because all of a sudden she's alone in this fucking cave, and she's gonna crawl forward looking for Oak.
Okay, go ahead and start moving.
Out of character. If you get me killed, I'm gonna be really mad.
Okay, Rhea, stop right there.
This is where I would stop when I like see Oak in the woods.
All of a sudden, both wolves
Oh no.
turn and start staring at this light that is shining right through towards where they are,
Oh no.
and begin growling and baring their teeth, and their hackles are up. They are obviously pissed off.
I would like do my best to show that like I as halfling child, I'm not dangerous and like just
Yeah,
be
they
completely
don't
on the
care.
ground.
Okay, I need you to give me a persuasion check. No advantage, no disadvantage, just straight persuasion.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. It is now Zoran's turn.
Alright, I changed my mic. Can you guys hear me okay?
You're kind of muffled.
Yeah, you said a little quieter?
Alright. Give me a second and I'll put it back.
Now I'm getting a lot of background noise. You know what? Zoran, did you switch back then?
I'm working on it.
Oh, okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Much better.
Okay. I'm just gonna stay hiding and move along the wall and
All
see
right.
what's going.
Okay. So now it's back to Oak.
Oak, seeing that their attention has been diverted, is immediately going to hold up his arms. He's still in his submissive, crouched down, no one's gonna hurt you form. And he's gonna be like, it's okay, they're friends, they're not gonna hurt you, I promise. And he's gonna signal to Rhea, he's gonna tell Rhea to, Rhea, put out your light spell. Or at least grab Dalian and get out of the cave.
No! I am perfectly hidden. Do not touch me. And she
Or
can't
at least
see me
get out of the
anyway.
cave and go wait with Dimspoon.
Besides, she can't see where I am.
Okay, hold on, Rhea. I think you're either muted or something because it looked like you were talking, but we couldn't hear you.
Is it possible for me to like dim the light?
You can take your head off, crunch it up, and put it under you. Then yes, that basically the light spell's still going, but it would be mostly covered. So you can do that when it gets to your turn if you so choose. All right. Are you doing anything else, Oak? You're trying to calm down the wolves. You're telling.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just trying to calm them down.
All right. Then in that case, this time just a straight perception or a straight persuasion check.
Oh no,
Time for the child
Okay.
to die.
the dice gods have failed me.
Maybe you failed them.
Maybe I did.
The wolf steps past you,
Oh no.
kind of pushing you out of the way. Comes straight over towards Rhea and stands right over, and it is growling right like inches from her head. Its mouth is, I mean, it's almost like it's gonna. I don't really think wolves bark like dogs do, but it's
Actually.
almost. I don't know for sure, but it's like it's like it wants to just yell at Rhea.
And Oak is going to tell her, don't move. And that's his.
That's his turn. Dalian, it is back to you.
Dalian is going to press harder against the wall, and thank God she is wearing all black. Slightly lower and steady out her breathing as if it's not there. And just
Okay.
watch.
Okay. Rhea, it is now your turn.
Don't you do
Alright,
anything stupid.
This might be stupid, but it's the best I can think of.
Don't Eldritch Blast them.
Not that. Not that. Can I uncast light without any like movements?
Oh yeah, you can just cancel it. You're saying, boom, I don't want it.
Alright, I'm gonna be just like slightly fried and cowering in fear, and then I'll just turn off the light and pray to God that nothing bad happens.
Okay.
Because you told me not to do anything.
Okay.
I mean, we tried to tell you in the beginning not to use it.
Okay. You feel saliva dripping onto your head in the dark in this cave. There's this hot breath right in front of your face.
Especially because wolves can still see in the dark.
And this loud growl is filling your ears. I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, help. Please.
Nope.
What's that?
Okay.
Oh, help.
You are now absolutely frightened. You're suffering from the frightened condition.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was this a saving throw against being frightened? Because
Yes.
if so, I do have advantage.
Okay.
That's
All right.
what happened.
Very
And
good. Then you
being
are.
a-
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, being a halfling, can't she re-roll the nat one?
She could if
I
she
could
wanted
also
to.
do that.
Yeah, you could.
But,
You're a
But
Lightfoot
that's not a
halfling, right?
1, that's just a 5.
yeah, I'm
No.
a Lightfoot
If
halfling.
notice it's in red, that means that she rolled a 1 and it's a 5 because of her +4.
Oh, okay.
If I re-roll, can I still just choose the highest? Like, would the
No.
19 still be up?
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm
the
just gonna
19
use
would
the
the 19 would still be in play. Yeah, you would still be able
Oh,
to
okay.
choose between that, but you don't need to.
Okay, I'm just gonna use the
It's
19.
yeah, you don't need to. You are definitely terrified of what's happening, but you are holding it in, knowing, okay, I
Oops,
can
got
do
me.
this. Yeah, I can do this. Oak's got me. I can do this. And in fact, you're actually kind of feeling a little proud of yourself because you kind of feel like, you know what, if this does turn bad, I can still take them. I
Oh
can
yeah,
still,
I could fuck this wolf up.
yeah,
I ain't afraid.
yeah, that's how you're feeling right now. You're like, okay, you
I
know,
just don't want to kill
even,
Puppy.
even as terrifying as this experience is, you're, you're holding your own. Zoran, you are now up.
And I am just going to sit there watching, doing nothing.
Okay. Oak, give me a perception check, if you will.
Okay.
All right. You notice in the back corner here,
Mm-hmm.
can you see that ping right there?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. That back corner, you notice that there appears to be kind of a pile, looks like a little bit of, refuse, some bones,
Yeah.
a couple bones here and there. There's maybe some cloth there, but what catches your eye is you see a glint of something over there. Not exactly sure what it is, but there's something, perhaps metal or glass or something that you noticed it basically when Rhea shut her light off in that brief instant where there was still light and then it went away.
Yeah.
Enough light was going around the corner that it caused a slight glint
Yeah.
that just caught your eye.
Oak is going to ignore that for now because there's a much more pressing situation. He's gonna go up next to the wolf that's next to Rhea.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's going to just press into its fur, just one hand. It's still in a very submissive pose, very crouched down. And he's going to say, "It's okay. They won't hurt you, I promise."
Roll persuasion with advantage. Okay.
Please, dice gods.
It calms down a little bit. It's still standing right over Rhea, but the intensity, you can kind of feel its muscles have relaxed just a hair.
Okay. Then he's going to address Dalian and say, "Dalian, I know
I
you
am
don't
hidden.
He knows you're somewhere.
Yeah, but I'm
He knows you
hidden.
can-
I'm good.
Yes. But
Dalian, give me a perception check.
Why?
Okay. You would have noticed that when you moved up to your current position that first time, and that
Yeah, I know
that
the
wolf,
wolfie saw me, but I'm not trying to pick a fight with the wolf.
yeah, the wolf,
Small child was the one that decided, hey, let's
yeah,
shine a giant bright light in the
yeah,
cave.
the wolf saw you for sure. You saw those eyes peer directly at you, so
Hence
you
why
know
I
it saw you.
haven't moved.
Yeah, just
Oak is
just
going. Oak is going to say, "Dalian, please take Rhea out of the cave."
Nope. She brought herself into this mess, she can get herself out.
He takes a couple deep breaths, and he's like, "Rhea, I've calmed it down enough. Would you at least go back to the steps?"
Am I able to respond?
yeah, you can respond.
I'm just gonna very calmly just say no.
That's
Okay.
fair.
All right, that's the end of that turn. It is Dalian's turn.
I don't have a reason to move or do anything. I'm content.
Okay. So you're just going to stay right there. Okay.
Just watching.
All right. Rhea, it is
She's
now
not
your
scared
turn.
or anything, so.
Rhea is gonna all of a sudden become like really calm, which is kind of weird, and then she'll just like lay completely flat with all trace of fear gone. It's like she's just, laying down, letting a dog come up to her. She'll like extend a hand so that like
Please,
maybe
I
buddy.
the
want I
wolf
want you to
will.
give me a persuasion check with advantage, Rhea.
She knows that puppies will come to her if she is on the ground with an extended hand. Maybe that applies to wolves. Who the
Okay.
fuck knows? Not Rhea.
As you do that, thanks to Oak's reassuring hand on its side
Thanks, so.
and the air of fear being dropped by you completely and taking on an absolutely submissive pose. The wolf turns around and begins to walk away, and as it
Oh, I
does
wonder if that. Oh,
as it does due to its large size, when it turns around, it kind of it doesn't hurt you, but it kind of kicks you in the head. It's not trying to. It's so big. It basically kind of it's one of its feet just happens to bonk you on the side of the head a little bit.
I own a cat. I understand this quite well.
Yes. And it moves back to the position you see it in now. And it turns and it looks in the direction where everyone's at. Still watching intently. But it sits. The other one, which has just been observing for the most part, intently. Walks all the way to the back of the cave in the corner. Lays down, and the pups start to kind of swarm over it, like kind of nipping at it a little bit, playing, and just generally acting like puppies.
Puppies.
It is now Zorn's turn.
I'll continue staying where I am and watching.
Okay. In that case, it is back to you, Oak.
Okay. Oh, he's gonna move towards the one wolf again.
Okay.
Not any further into that little cave, but he's just gonna stay there, be calm, and see if any of the puppies will come towards him.
As you move up, it also kind of takes a step with you. It looks back at you, sits down again. It's just sitting there.
Oak will take another step forward.
Okay. It gets up, steps forward with you again. And it's kind of the pups are kind of in and around and among everything, so it's not like they're actually on top of each other here.
Yeah.
And you are now these two are actually these three, I should say, are actually over here harassing their mother.
As children do.
This one walks over a little bit, kind of lays down. And this one here, that's right next to you, just kind of looking at you and sniffing the air.
Oak will extend a hand so it can get a good sniff.
It moves up towards Oak.
Puppy.
Looks at you, sniffs a little bit, and then kind of headbutts you in the gut, and like kind of pops back a bit, and then headbutts you again.
And then Oak will just kind of like gently but like playfully just kind of shove him over a little bit, like he knows how to play with puppies,
Okay.
and just roughhousing, but not in a not like gently.
And this, for a puppy, this is still a big animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're roughly about the same size, and you're kind of rolling around a little bit and playing with each other. And this wolf, the dad, moves over towards the pile in the back and goes ahead and grabs a bone that still has some traces of meat on it. Grabs it and drags it over here, lays down, and just starts gnawing on it.
The proper use of a bone.
It is now Dalian's turn.
I kind of want to see you, but I kind of don't want to move. Dalian, at this point, figures the wolves, or at least not so much on guard, so long as it recognizes that the person knows Oak. So she will at least move to stand around the corner from Oak, but at least being able to watch.
Okay.
Though
Go ahead and
still
move.
totally hugging the wall.
All right. Go ahead and move yourself there then.
I want to say it'd be like right about here. I don't know which square
Yeah.
though.
Well, it would be that one right there.
So right here.
Just catty corner from Oak.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay. And anything else you want to do, or is that all?
Just watch Oak play with the puppy.
Okay.
Like, she's not scared of the wolves at this point. They're essentially giant dogs.
Rhea, it is your turn.
So I'm gonna find a little small pebble, which I assume won't be hard, and I'm gonna cast light on it so I can hold it in my hand, so it's a dim light.
Okay. Okay, you go ahead and do that, and you now have a little bit of light. It's almost like a candle.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to see some light.
Yeah, and you are able to see a decent amount. Not a ton, but you can see a decent amount. You can actually see. We're gonna put it at.
Dalian would honestly want to ask Oak if it's okay to actually step out at this point, but relying entirely on his
There.
judgment.
That should have adjusted your
Yeah,
sight range. Okay, so you should be able to see, but it's not a ton.
and then I would crawl to where I knew Oak was.
Okay,
Like
go ahead.
slowly.
Yeah, you can.
And then I would just kind of like put my hand out because I want to play with puppies too.
Okay, so you move up there.
Mhm.
Okay. This wolf right here that's playing with Oak
Mhm.
sees you come around the corner and immediately jumps and pounces on you,
Okay.
knocking you down, and then it kind of jumps back, moves over, it kind of swats at you. It's almost more of a cat-like maneuver. It kind of, kind of pushing around with its paws and then hopping back, and then taking its mouth and like putting it around your leg, and not biting down hard enough to hurt you, but there's definitely some pressure there.
Yeah.
It's not putting in an effort in to hurt you, but
I will
starts.
wrestle back a little bit.
Okay.
No,
And
I full well probably can't do shit.
it seems like you're not making much headway on it, but it seems like it is enjoying the experience. Oh, didn't mean to grab you. Hold on.
Playing with dog.
Okay. And what I need from everyone is a perception check. Zoran, yours is going to be at a disadvantage from where you're at.
It doesn't have to do with dogs.
All right. Okay. Even with disadvantage, it looks like Zoran made it. Oak, you already saw it, but the other two, you now see, thanks to Rhea's light, there's just enough of it reaching over into this corner down here in the left. That pile of refuse. The rest of you see this kind of glint off of some kind of object, glass, metal, you don't know, something that can reflect. It seems to be kind of covered up by some of the bones and cloth and scraps and what else is over there. All right, so it is now Zoran's turn.
I'm going to move. I didn't mean to do that save.
No, that's all right.
There.
No, that's all right. Okay.
My macro buttons were covering where I wanted to move.
No problem. No problem. You move there, and nothing much seems to happen. The wolves kind of seem not necessarily at peace, but unconcerned at this point. Is there anything else you want to do on your turn?
Nope.
Okay. Oak, your turn.
Oak is still wrestling with that puppy, and you know the scene in the original Lion King movie where the hyenas are like fighting,
Yes.
and the one hyena comes up and it looks like he's chewing on someone else's leg, but it's
But
actually
it's his.
own.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oak does that, but you can clearly tell it's like his own arm. But
Okay.
yeah.
Good job, Oak.
All right. And at this point, I'm going to get rid of initiative order. Okay. Just wanted to
So
keep track of movement at this point. So now you can all, kind of move freely, do
Dalian
your own
wants
thing.
to ask Oak if it's okay to actually just like step out and move next to him now, because she doesn't want to like alert or make the wolves uneasy.
Yeah, I say just stay behind me a bit, and I think you're good.
So Dalian would actually at that point completely step away from the wall and put one hand lightly against Oak's arm, so just for a distance reference, and stand right next to him
Okay.
at this point, just kind of looking at the dog, a bit confused, but whatever, it's a dog. I just don't know where to put Dalian at that point.
You can put her wherever you want. You can just move her over one square.
Because the way I'm thinking is like the dog's right in front of Oak, Oak's right here, and Dalian's literally standing right next to Oak with her hand on his shoulder.
Okay. Yep. You move. You're definitely in sight of the wolves, but they don't seem to really pay you any mind. No, they don't seem concerned. The one that's kind of wrestling around with now both Oak and Rhea, it's kind of bouncing back and forth between them. Sees a new player on the field. And as it's spinning away from Oak to go towards Rhea, it kind of hip checks you. Not real hard. Not enough to knock you off your feet or anything, but pretty close. You managed to retain your balance, no problem, but
Holding on to Oak.
it seems to be having a blast. It's got brand new playmates that it's didn't have before. kind of sick of these other ones. They've been playing
Can
with the same
Dalian just
ones.
lightly scratch the butt?
Yeah. You go ahead and scratch the butt, and it
'Cause-
kind of does that little movement of like, oh, yeah. It kind of moves its rear up just a little bit as you do that. Like, oh yeah, that's the spot.
Well, because doggo butt scratches are the best.
And then Oak will just take him by like the neck and just like shake him a bit and just like, oh, you're such a doggo puppy.
Okay. He actually licks you.
Oak gasps as well.
And then he goes back to knocking around you and Rhea, and occasionally bumping into even Dalian and trying to get her to join in.
Whenever the dog gets close enough, she just kind of like tiredly scratches the butt, but that's about it. She doesn't really go to play or anything because she figures this is Oak's thing. And she's never really gotten along with animals in the past. So
All right.
Can Oak tell if this is a boy or a girl?
you would think from behind it.
You would know. You're pretty good at knowing the difference between males and females.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you look and you see, and this is a young female,
Ah, yes.
and she's just having fun.
Puppy.
Yeah. So
Can I cast minor illusion on myself to give myself a tail?
What? You realize
Sure.
it's just a figment of air. There's no
I
actual.
get that. I just
But it's a
the
tail.
tail.
sure, you can definitely do that.
I'm gonna do that, and then while play wrestling with this puppy, I'm gonna actually get a little bit more over here, and then just do a little bit of a bark, like not a scary bark, but like a bark.
Okay. This one, which was just kind of laying down, lifts its head up and looks at you, and puts its head back down. The father still just chewing on that bone, and it's not a small bone. I mean, this thing looks like maybe like one of the leg bones of something large, like maybe an elk or something like that. It's big, and it's just going to town on it. And the mother seems to actually just be resting, and these other three pups have eventually just kind of curled up beside her.
Oh, puppy.
What about the pup all the way over here?
What, the one by you guys?
No, there's 3 pups, one by Oak and then one off on its own.
Yeah, the one off on its own had curled up right there, just
Okay.
a little bit of ways from the rest of them.
It needs to
Remember,
be so quiet.
each one of these squares is considered a 5-foot square.
Yeah, I know.
So really, it's not that far away from the rest. So
Can I continue to move towards the corner with the glistening was,
okay,
At
but
this point,
still crawling and stuff, and barking here and there.
okay,
Dalian's just gonna sit down and kind of look at the puppy that's in front of her and Oak,
hmm
and just kind of reach out and scratch the top of its muzzle. Have you guys done that with dogs before? Right in front of its nose
Yeah.
on the bridge, just scratch it.
yeah.
Trying to figure she doesn't understand the fascination with the wolves, but it's fluffy.
Zoran, what about you? What are you doing?
I'm just moving around, sitting down, putting my staff across my legs, and leaning my back against the wall,
Okay.
wondering when these idiots are going to leave the dogs alone.
So, Rhea, you make your way over to the pile of refuse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where it is.
Yeah, you're close enough. You find in there as you look for this little glint of shine that you saw. Kind of dig through there, and it's not the most pleasant thing to be digging through a pile of bones with still got some gristle and a little bit of meat and stuff like that on them. But as you dig through, you eventually see what looks like a little dagger.
I would
Nice.
grab it.
It's nice. It's not the best looking dagger you've ever seen, but you know, it's kind of dirty right now. But it looks like it's pretty well crafted.
I would take it.
All right. So you grab that. What's everyone else doing?
At this point, can we kind of like half flop the dog into us?
Okay.
Yeah, Oak is just kind of like laying laying next to the dog and just petting it. It's like, you're a good girl. Yes, you're a good puppy.
Okay. And it eventually just, you know, kind of lays down right there next to you guys. And after a few minutes, you guys kind of realize that looks like everybody except for the dad is asleep. And he's just still kind of chewing on that bone. But everyone else, including the one over by you guys, they're all passed out. This is, after all, their nighttime. They're normally up during the night, and so the daytime is when they sleep. So,
Oak is gonna get up and he's gonna be like, okay, well, I think we've played with the puppies enough, and I'd rather not take a puppy from its mom and dad, because that would be cruel. But, you know, if Puppy wants to follow us, then that's fine. So I say we go, and if she wakes up and comes to us, then, hey, we have a puppy.
right, so do you guys leave the cave at that point?
I want to investigate the room for any other shiny things.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
Dalian has kind of zoned out, just rubbing one of the ears at this point.
Okay.
She's never gotten to actually pet a dog before, so she's kind of like fascinated with this.
A lot of new things for Dalian in the last few days, huh? The crazy,
She's a very sheltered child.
evil contraptions and surprise drow food where you didn't expect it, and
Now
now dog petting.
Fluffy ears.
Yeah. Rhea, you kind of wander around and do a pretty thorough investigation of the room, and you don't find too much else. You do find what looks like a belt buckle in the pile of bones and stuff. You also
Are
find
you eating all of his Cheetos?
you also find a looks like a leather coat, or at least parts of a leather coat. I mean, I think this is a sleeve. Maybe, you know, this might be, I don't know, a lapel. I can't tell, but it seems to be pretty torn up, beaten to shreds. And that's really about all you find.
Do I suspect that they've eaten a person?
Oh yeah, easily.
You would guess that it's probably happened a time or two, based on the belt buckle and the jacket and a dagger being in there, and some of those bones do look roughly humanoid. You know, you're not sure, human, elf, dwarf, whatever, but there's some definitely that are humanoid type bones, and you wouldn't put it out of the ordinary as, you know, something that wouldn't happen. It's most likely.
Oak when Oak stands up, he's also shifting the dog, the pup, enough so that it kind of wakes up, because he's hoping that it might follow them.
Meanwhile, Dalian's still just like rubbing the ears.
Alright. You get up. The dog kind of shifts a little bit and moves, and then lays its head back down. Anybody else want to do anything in here?
She's
I just
content
wanna
rubbing the
leave.
dog ears. Let her enjoy it for a bit longer.
I just want to leave.
Okay.
Then you can leave.
Alright. Eventually, you know, all the pups are are asleep still. Even the dad eventually goes to sleep, and the fun of scratching their fur eventually begins to fade as you aren't getting the same reactions out of them now that they're all passed out.
It's actually easier for her now that it's asleep.
And you hear faintly coming from the direction of the entry to the cave. Is is uh is everyone okay? I've been waiting for a while.
Oak will go up to the entrance of the cave and say, dude, everything's fine. We found some big wolves, and they're adorable.
No, not you, not to Oak. The biggest rule was don't kill the wolves.
But they're gonna kill people.
They're wolves. It's literally their job.
They're dangerous to walk with.
Then leave. If you're so worried about it, but don't kill the wolves.
Oak is just recounting the tale to Dimspoon.
He looks pretty astonished
Meanwhile, Dahlia's
and
still
says,
like, rubbing the dog ears.
"We that is quite amazing, but we really should get back on the road."
How long has this taken?
You guys have probably been hanging out in there for a good 20 minutes.
Okay.
Could I like quickly explore the rest of the cavern? See if there's or cave. See if there's
It'll probably take you another. Yeah, I mean, depends on how in depth you want to explore. I mean, and if you just want to take a quick look through, it'll probably only take you a couple minutes to look around through, to see the rest of the caves. If you want to investigate thoroughly, that could take a lot longer.
just a quick look through to see if anything like catches my eye.
Nothing that you really notice.
Okay.
It seems like it's just a pretty simple natural cave. I mean, there's some moss here and there, if you're interested in moss. One area of the cave really smells bad. In fact, yeah, you're pretty sure that that's where the wolves tend to go to do their business.
So at this point, is Dalian left alone next to this puppy?
Oak comes back after he finishes talking.
Okay,
to Dimspoon.
because if she thinks she's alone now that everybody else has left,
You would be for a little bit, yeah.
she would, against her better judgment, she'd kind of rub her cheek against the fur of the wolf's head and then begrudgingly stand up. Because it's really soft fur, and she's never got to pet a dog before.
When Oak comes back, he's going to see if he can wake up the puppy just a little bit. Yeah, just wake it up.
Cause she essentially just like ruffles the ears and just rubs her cheek against the head and then stands up.
Okay.
Figuring she's alone so nobody will see the slip up.
Alright, so Oak comes back. You wake up the dog. Or the wolf, I should say.
Yes.
Right. You wake it up, it kind of lazily wakes up, looks at you, gives you a lick, and then walks over to its mama, curls up and lays back down.
Okay. It has made its choice. Time to leave.
Dalian would just kind of like, her shoulders were slumped a little bit. She's like, it was soft.
I know.
though."
I know. I understand.
And then she'd leave with him.
Yeah, and
All right.
yeah. Then,
So you guys arrive outside the cave finally.
I just don't know where the fuck to put her.
Don't worry about that. You guys arrive outside the cave finally, and Father Dimspoon is waiting there for you guys.
Quick question: what color were these wolves? Just black, since they're dire wolves.
Mostly grayish and black. The pups didn't have as dark a color fur. I mean, they come in kind of, different
Poor
variations.
Dahlia, her clothing's probably covered in light gray fur now.
Yeah, you've got a little bit actually. All three of you, Dalian, Oak, and Rhea, uh, have quite a bit of fur. Uh, you, especially Rhea, due to your size, uh, and the fact that it practically kind of laid on top of you several times and rolled on you. Um, you almost look a little bit like a halfling lint roller, as you've got gray fur all just sticking, kind of stuck all over your clothes. Dalian, it also really shows up really well on the black. So, but yeah, you guys have plenty of wolf fur on you.
Hey, we could make another dog with this fur.
So see,
Can I
you got your dog. Yes, Zoran.
can I can I look at the group and say, fur's not in this season?
And Dalian would just be
Joke's
like,
on
I
you. I
barely
always wear
pet
fur.
the dog. I don't understand how I have this much fur on me.
Yeah.
Because she refuses to admit she literally nuzzled that dog.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you guys now exit the cave, and you are back outside there with Father Dimspoon, who, seeing that all of you have finally exited the cave, says, "Ah, yes. Can we go now? I'm still not really comfortable around wild animals."
Oak gives a really big sigh because, no puppy. And then he's just like, yeah, sure, let's go.
Dalian would just nudge Oak and go, you could always try to whistle. It worked for you.
Oh. No, that's because you're my friend. And I trust you.
Can I
But,
give a loud whistle anyway? With minor illusion?
Sure.
Oh, don't do a really loud one. If you do a really loud one and it alerts all the wolves in a bad manner, then we become chow food again.
Like, not a really loud one. Just a
You-
whistle that I think would be loud enough to reach
Then
them.
just do a normal whistle. It'll echo in the cave. But
Oh.
Oak should probably be the one to do it, seeing as he was the one that gained the trip of the wolves in the
Rhea
first place.
can do that if she wants, though. Go ahead, and if you want to use your
Yes,
spell and
let's-
create a whistle, go for it.
Yeah, I do that.
All right, so you cast minor illusion to make a sound and make an illusory whistling noise.
Rhea doesn't know how to whistle. It's the only way I can.
How do you not
And-
know how to whistle?
She's
I
13.
don't know.
Oh, it's hard.
And
Not hard.
you wait. Wait a little bit.
Alright, let's go.
Nothing.
They just don't like you.
Oak will begrudgingly whistle.
Begrudgingly.
If
Alright.
they come,
The puppy
I
already
sw-
made its choice. It's got to stay with its family, so it doesn't want to separate it from it. But
You whistle and you wait.
puppy
Wait
comes
a little
out
bit
and
more.
so fucking bad.
Still nothing.
okay, it's like, let's go.
So, after your adventure of the morning, you eventually hit the road, and you go not very far. You are now at the shore of the lake. This lake is extremely large. Those of you were here last week when we talked about it. This is large enough that it will take about a day to get across it.
Let's just walk around it.
Walking around it will take add a couple more days to your trip, but you're not getting wet that way.
The less water, the better.
Of course, it is still
Comfortable with
raining,
water?
so you're still getting wet that way.
Who's comfortable with large bodies of water?
Not me. I'd
Nope.
rather go around.
Okay, around it is.
All right.
Can I just draw my patron symbol, like, randomly, sporadically, as we
What are you going to draw,
travel?
Don, and what are you drawing it with?
I believe I have chalk. Yeah, because I got chalk from the church.
Yep.
So
Chalk
I'm just
doesn't
gonna
exactly draw easily in dirt.
on the trees.
Still the premise with the bark.
You know what?
That's
That's
all
what I
right.
would do.
She can
But
do that.
I would draw like a unicorn horn to be quick.
Okay. So you draw unicorn horn on one of the trees as you're passing, and it is now there until the rain washes it off,
Which will
as it is
probably
chalk,
quickly.
and it is
Did
raining.
my best.
But you put it there.
Until
So you are currently on the south side of the Spire River, and therefore I assume you are taking the south path around the lake, as opposed to crossing over the river to go on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are basically right around here now. You can kind of tell. It's this one right here, that little hex.
Okay.
As you continue on, you end up making camp for the night. The rain stopped shortly before dusk. Everything's still damp, but other than that, it's actually a pretty decent night. It's still a hint of a chill in the air from all the rain that it had kind of dropped the temperature. But other than that, it's a peaceful evening, and the night passes uneventful. You take off again the next morning, and continuing your way around the lake. And once again, it's a relatively easy day of travel as the sun has come up and begin to dry things out. It's pretty open country, so you travel goes pretty smooth. You make camp for the night. Again, peaceful, relaxing, nothing much going on. And then take off the next day, where a few hours into your travels in the morning, it's probably now at about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. You start to see up ahead, maybe a quarter mile. Looks like the terrain starts to get a little bit hillier, and there are now a lot of trees on
So,
that
question. So
horizon.
we went around the south side of the lake. Are we back at that one spot in the river again?
You are basically right here on this hex.
Okay. Because I'm
So
thinking we can follow the river all the way to the beach and then take the beach down towards the capital.
you could. You
I would
absolutely.
prefer sticking to the woods.
Well, because if
Don't
we
have to
follow
be
the
near the
river, we have a
beach.
definite path. But because none of us, aside from the father, knows the terrain very well, we could easily get lost in the woods.
Hey.
I still stand by it. If we just follow the river up and then follow the beach down,
And we don't have to stay on the beach. We can stay close to or nearby the beach, but keep an eye on it and still be in the woods. Or
So yeah, that is where you currently are. Let's see if I can move this over just a hair. There you go. So yeah, you are currently just coming up to the edge of that tile, basically that hex. So you're leaving this one, entering this one. Okay. So as you're coming into there again, about 9:10 in the morning, uh, another half hour passes and you reach the tree line. There were trees before, just a little sparser. It was more of a uh, more open, more of a plain, and relatively flat. But now there are hills and there is a thicker forest. As you enter into this terrain, it begins to slow your movement a little bit due to the difficulty of going up and down the hills and navigating through and between the trees. You eventually, as you approach evening, begin to hear the sound of the river again. It is starting to get dark out, and it looks like it's probably a good time to make camp somewhere nearby. So eventually you find a good spot and set up camp. As you do such, you assume your typical watches for the evening. What is the order that you would like to
I
go in watches again?
I think it was Oak first, so Dalian
Yeah.
can meditate, and then Dalian just watches the entire rest of the night.
Okay. And so then Rhea and Zorn can sleep and get some
Along
rest
with
the
the
whole time,
father.
along with the father and along with I can see when he's around.
Yeah,
He's
I would
not
not help with
suspiciously being
watch.
quiet.
All right, hold
When he's
on.
not in his magical tent.
What are you
And
eating?
speaking of I can see, apparently he unfortunately has caught a nasty cold and his voice is gone,
Wow.
so that is why he is not here tonight. So that's no fun. So, all right. So that's your normal watches. Uh, while you are getting ready to bed down for the night and have your normal watches, uh, Father Dimspoon again busts out a wineskin and says, "Back to a little more familiar territory. Um, shall we?" And he passes it around, offering it to others.
Is there a legal drinking age in this world?
I wouldn't
Not
think so.
technically.
Like, obviously, someone Rhea's size can't drink because she's literally still a child. But
Why do you say that?
because she's literally the size of a child.
Ever been to Germany? Or almost
Yeah,
anywhere
even
else in
their legal
Europe?
drinking age is only 16.
Some countries it's a little younger than that. But no, it's in this kind of the general time period that this is set. You know, medieval type
Yeah.
setting, medieval fantasy. Uh, in general, if you could pick up a glass, you could drink what was in it, and they really didn't care.
It would just be funny if if there was a drinking age and Oak just went, oh no, I can't drink yet.
Nope, there isn't one. There isn't one.
Yay, alcohol!
Oh no, alcohol.
However, you probably wouldn't have a very high tolerance, especially with your small size, Rhea. So wouldn't
Just throw her
take
in the river. Wake
yeah
her up. Maybe she'll drown.
wouldn't take you much to knock yourself out there.
Well, there's a nice sack. We've established
Yeah.
on the horse.
A nice sleeping sack. That's right.
Yeah.
Oak can carry you in said sack if you wish.
All right. So you enjoy a few drinks. You enjoy your dinner, and Oak takes the first watch.
Mhm.
And as you are standing there having your watch, I need you to roll a perception check. Okay.
If it's not with dogs, then he doesn't.
And you don't hear anything. You don't see anything normal. Everything seems to be going just fine. So your watch actually passes without any issues. You wake up Dalian for her turn on watch. And Dalian, I need a perception check from you. Okay. You hear a sound coming from one of the tents. Seems to be Father Dimspoon's tent.
Mm-hmm. I'd open the flap barely just to peek inside, but I'm not really gonna like go in it.
Okay. As you get closer and you pull back the flap just a little bit to have a peek, you see him sitting up. His back is to the tent flap. There is a small candle burning, putting off barely enough light to see. But with your dark vision, you have no problem seeing in there. To you, it seems like it's lit up. And you can hear clearly now that he's crying. And he has, in his hands, you can kind of see from the angle he's sitting, you can see over his shoulder, he has in his hands this locket that he's been wearing around his neck ever since you've seen him. And it looks like there are two fairly well done, miniature paintings, drawings. One is of him, and the other, you never seen the person before, but you recognize what looks like human features, but also drow features. Almost as if a combination between the two. And it's clearly a woman. And he's quietly sobbing, holding onto this locket, looking at the picture.
Dalian, she would sound unintentionally a bit cold simply because that's how she's used to speaking. But she would just go, "Father, sit out here with me."
At hearing a voice at his back, he instantly almost jumps. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to disturb your watch." And
And Dalian would
he closes
again,
the pendant and kind of tucks it under his shirt a little bit and says, yeah, fine, just give me a moment.
and Dalian again trying to make her voice a little softer, though it appears more so on her face than her actual voice. Will go, "Sit out here. Crying alone makes a man seem weak." And she'd just go back to where she was sitting for her watch. That's the best way she knows how to comfort a person.
He says, just give me a minute. And then, so you go back to sitting at your watch.
Yeah, I'll let him
Okay.
do it at his pace.
Okay. Just a couple minutes later, he comes out. His eyes are red and wiped, and it was pretty clear that he had a good amount of that wine at dinner. He in fact, he still might be a little bit drunk. You're not sure, but you can still smell it on him clearly. And he sits down out there a little bit ways from you and says, "Again, I'm sorry about all that.
She would just wave a hand at him as if to say it's fine.
I just woke up and I couldn't get back to sleep. He just sits there quietly. Kind of takes a stick and he's quietly poking at the embers of the fire just to kind of keep them stoked a little bit for warmth. But other than that, just saying nothing. And just kind of sitting there, a few feet away from you. Just being out there.
Eventually, because her current cloak, I would think, has it been just raining off and on, or has it just been like that one day?
It's been basically a good solid day and a half, and it was decently heavy.
Okay, so the cloak she's wearing would still be a bit damp.
Yeah, I'd say it still probably would be a
Then
little bit, but not much.
what she would probably do is pull the drow cloak she has
Mhm.
from her satchel, because that would still be dry,
Mhm.
and just kind of... She doesn't lay it on the father, but she kind of tosses it at the father, because physical contact, not her thing.
Okay. All right, and you toss it to him, and surprisingly, he catches it fairly deftly. And then, almost kind of surprised himself, and then takes it and thank you, and kind of wraps it around his shoulders. And I need a perception check from you.
Why? Can I please re-roll that?
Nope. Okay. So,
I'm trying to be nice.
now, all of a sudden, and what is your armor class again? Let me see.
Why am I getting hurt?
Alright. So, all of a sudden, a javelin
Oh no.
Why?
comes from out in the trees and strikes you in the shoulder, doing 3 points of damage.
What the fuck?
And I need you to roll initiative.
I'm
In
sorry,
fact-
but after that, she would be yelling in drought.
Oh, it's
Like,
but
there
it's
is no ifs, ands, or buts.
but it's not your turn until you roll initiative. So hold on, before you do, let me clear it all out. Okay. Now you can go ahead and select your character, and then click on the initiative button. Okay. And you don't necessarily need to see it. It's really just for me to keep track of who's going next. Okay.
Is it
And
just
actually,
me?
it does show up on the screen, so that's good. No, everybody can go ahead and roll initiative.
Everybody else is asleep.
Yep, but they can still roll initiative.
Wow.
Okay, and it's not putting them on there, so I will have to do that from over here. Come on. Just need to select these two, please. Alright. Wants me to do it the hard way. Alright. Just one moment as I grab these guys.
What didn't you see?
Apparently shit, because I didn't get to re-roll my one.
This is what you get for caring about someone's feelings.
Clearly.
You were
They're just allowed to
distracted.
stay in the tent.
Oh, just
Alright.
Oak will have words with that who
Okay.
What, am I being attacked by a ninja?
probably.
Alright.
I
And
mean,
that
it
still
could be
isn't.
multiple ninjas, for all you know.
Alright, that still isn't showing those up on there on your screen. I don't know why. But it's got everyone on mine, so I can read them out for you. Alright, so. Chuck, Dahlia, okay, so. Another javelin flies, this time going towards Father Dimspoon.
Can Dalian instantly jump to try and get in the way, even if she gets hit?
Nope, not on you until your turn.
But doesn't so the bonus actions can't count as an instant jump
Nope,
in and
nope, that's a reaction. That's a different kind of thing. There's 3 types of actions you can do. You can do a move, which everyone gets to do a move. Actually, I should say 4 types. Everyone has a move that they can do, where you can move up to your speed. And that's on your turn.
oh, now the father gets to die.
Yep.
Oh well.
Also on your turn, you can do an action, which anything that you have that is labeled as an action, you can do then. You can also do a bonus action. Anything labeled on your sheet as a bonus action, you're able to do. And then out of your turn, if you have something on your D&D Beyond sheet that is labeled as a reaction, then you can use that.
I mean, I have an opportunity attack.
That is a reaction, but it is only when an opportunity attack is applies, and I'll let you know what that is. Basically, when somebody moves out of a square you threaten in melee, or certain other things can cause them, but that's kind of the main one. Okay, so the goblin,
Goblins?
a very large looking goblin, kind of jumps out of the bush as he throws another spear or another javelin. This one hits Father Dimspoon right in the leg and kind of glances off. It causes a big gash on the side of his leg, but didn't stick straight in. Oak, I need you to roll a perception check. Okay, Oak, you hear the noise and the screaming of goblins that wakes you up.
Okay.
So you are now awake, and that
Oak
is your whole turn on this round because you
Okay.
just woke up.
Okay. But Oak doesn't sleep in a tent, so he's just kind of lying on the ground. Just
That's
like, what?
Dalian, it is now your turn.
So she does not like sneak attacks unless she's the one doing it. So her first reaction is gonna be to pull the javelin out, look at the goblin, and without even thinking about it, using her minor illusion, and just flat out screaming at this goblin in Drow. Like, as loud and deep as physically possible with
Okay.
the addition to the minor illusion.
Okay. Because of that,
She's pissed.
because of that, Rhea and Zoran, go ahead and roll your perception checks right now. Okay,
I'm sleepy.
Zoran,
You are out like
Wait,
a rocket.
I can re-roll that.
you wake
Right?
up. If that, yeah, that was a 1 and you're a halfling, you can re-roll that. Okay, so both of you are awake prior to your turns, so on your turn, you will get to act. Okay. So that's all you do though on your turn, Dalian, is the minor illusion and the shout. Yes.
Well, because she'd be using it like to either get this thing to run, or at least back down at that point. Because I would think bleeding Drow having yanked a javelin out of its shoulder and now yelling to the point of an echo.
Okay. So so that's your turn. That's what you did, and we'll
Would
find
that
out.
be an intimidation?
I'll let you do that. So roll an intimidation check.
Watch me fail miserably now. Even though I Well, I have a +2 in intimidation, technically.
You still are. You figured it out.
Am I proficient in charisma? No. So it would just be the R 1d20 +2.
For yours, let me see what your intimidation skill says. Yep, it's just 1d20 +2, so /R space 1d20 +2.
13.
13. Okay. It's really impressive. We'll find out what happens when it's its turn. Okay. So, Rhea, you have just woken up out of a dead slumber to a.
Isn't she in the satchel?
Are you? Is that where you slept?
Because she says she sleeps in the satchel.
Well,
That's
no.
up
If
to
we were
her.
making a camp, I wouldn't have. If we were traveling, I would have.
Okay.
Look.
So then you're in a tent. Okay.
So I would run out. Do I see these goblins?
You see what looks like a fairly large goblin, and he's got a. Looks like a quiver, but with some javelins stuffed into it. And he is standing just kind of at the edge of the trees, just on the edge of the firelight. And he is shouting in Goblin, and he is reaching back for another javelin. And you see movement all around in the other bushes. You can't quite make out what it is yet, but you see a bunch of movement.
All right, how far are these bushes?
About 30 feet away.
Right, all right, I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna run 25 feet to these bushes, so get as close as I can.
Okay.
And then, I'm gonna like concentrate on the crystal that I now have in my hand, and a wave of thunderous force sweeps out from me, and each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from me must make a Constitution saving throw. I am
Okay.
casting Thunder Wave.
Okay. All right. So,
Where is
and what is your DC? There we go.
that? Does not seem right.
No, that I don't know why that came up with that. That is not what your DC
Yeah,
is.
that
Your DC, I can tell you right
it's
now. That
13.
that macro is wrong. Your DC should be about
Yeah,
13. Do 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 do. La di da di da. Enjoying the singing. Okay. So if I go to spells, yes, your save DC is 13.
yeah.
So all right, I have a couple more saves to roll. Hold on. And it was Constitution, correct?
Uh, yes.
Okay. And 6 damage. It looks like that. I think it did correctly.
Yeah,
Yes.
that looks right.
That is
Six
correct.
Thunder.
Yep, 6 thunder damage. Okay, so. What was that one? Yep, alright. So you hear. And see 2 figures, relatively goblinoid size, kind of get flung out of the bushes and back 15 feet. You also heard 2 other, kind of screams of pain.
Mhm.
And that is your turn.
Yep.
All right. So, up next
Watch it do absolutely nothing.
are a bunch of goblins. So, Rhea, being that you are right there,
Yeah, bring it.
2 goblins run straight for you,
Okay.
pull out scimitars, and attack.
Take a try.
All right. The first one swings at you wildly, but is still a little bit off kilter from this crazy thunder wave and misses. But as you dodge to the side out of the way of its blade, the second one brings its scimitar down hard, slicing across your stomach, drawing a deep gash, causing 3 points of damage. Slashing.
Okay.
3 points of slashing damage. You then.
12 health.
Uh, and that's that. Okay. Also, 2 arrows whiz right by your head. One just a little bit over. They thought you were going to be a human, and so aimed a little too high. The other right past your temple. Okay. Now, Dalian, you also see 2 arrows come towards you and manage to duck out of the way just as they are coming for you, and they skitter harmlessly past. Father Dimspoon, however, gets hit right in the stomach. And he collapses onto his butt. And he's clutching the wound, and he's screaming in pain.
Nope, there goes our priest.
Oak, as you woke up and stood up... no, actually it's now Zoran's turn.
So the yell does
Alright.
nothing?
You don't know.
Figured.
It is now Zoran's turn.
So what I would do...
You have woken up, so you've got all your stuff.
What I would do is reach over to my staff, grab it, activate my Crimson Right on
Okay.
it, and stand up and start running to the goblin noises.
All right. And let's see here. Okay, so you stand up and run towards the goblin noises. You can actually get to them and get within 50 feet if you want.
Would I be in melee range
Or
now?
get within 5 feet.
All right,
So
then
yes,
I
you
will
can get within range. Sorry, I was trying to take care of something here. All right.
I will swing with my staff.
All right.
No,
All right.
miss.
So no, that is a miss, unfortunately.
And then I will do an unarmed strike to go with it.
All right. So bonus action unarmed strike,
Yeah.
and that is also a miss.
All right.
Now, Oak, the larger goblin, seeing this very large humanoid stand up from sleep, decides that you're his next target.
Oh, good.
And he runs up to you, and as he's running towards you, he throws a javelin.
Mm-hmm.
And he swings his scimitar when he gets within 5 feet of you. And your armor class is
14.
14. The javelin, as it's coming in, catches you right in your right arm, right in the bicep,
Yeah.
sticking in deep. And as you're reeling from that hit, his scimitar comes around as he ducks and slides past you on his side, slicing your calf. You take 6 points of piercing damage from the javelin and 7 points of slashing damage from the scimitar.
How many from the scimitar?
7.
Okay.
It is
And
now
how
your
many hit points do you have left?
10.
it is now your turn.
Okay. Oak, seeing that his friends have been very hurt, or at least 2 of them have,
I rage.
Oak would like to rage.
All right. So there we go. I think that's the first rage of the game for you,
Oh, it
isn't
is.
it?
It is.
Outstanding.
And it's a very, like, there is no outward sign of aggression. He's just stone face, and he doesn't flinch when he takes those hits.
All right. All right. I like it. So that's
And
a bonus action for your rage. All right.
yes, it is. And he's going to swing with his great axe at the guy who just attacked him.
All right. Go for it.
And it's a +2 to damage.
Yep. All right. You swing with your great axe and surprisingly nimble. This little goblin, as it slid past you, slicing your calf, and you bring your great axe around, it pops to its feet and angles its scimitar just enough to deflect the blow.
Okay.
All right. It is now Dalian's turn.
So, can Dalian take the javelin she had ripped out of her shoulder and throw it at one of the goblins?
Absolutely.
And then, after that, how close are they to her? Because we have no actual maps. I don't know where anything
exactly.
is.
They're where you guys are in the center of camp. Pretty much right together. Is about 30 feet from where the attacks from the trees and the bushes have been coming, with the exception of Rhea, who's right up on that kind of that tree line and line of bushes. But everyone else is more towards this. Actually, Zoran, you ran up too towards the edge. So Zoran and Rhea are about 25, 30 feet away from you, dealing with whatever is out there in the darkness. And you and Oak and Father Dimspoon are kind of in the center of camp, about 30 feet away from everything except for this larger goblin who is standing next to Oak and probably about 10 feet away from you.
Okay, so yeah, one of them will be the javelin I had pulled out of my shoulder. I'll throw at it.
Okay.
I don't know what I need to roll for that.
For that, I do not believe you are proficient in that. Maybe, but I don't think so.
I'm proficient with. It looks like
I'm double checking.
crossbow, hand, longsword, rapier, short sword, and any
Yep.
simple weapon.
Simple weapons. Yep. So that should be. I believe javelins are considered simple weapons, and I'm not going to slow down the game to go and look it up, so we'll just say yes, at least for now. We'll look it up later to make sure. But yes, so yeah, you'll be proficient in it, so it's going to be 1d20. It's going to be basically your normal attack roll for anything that you are like a dexterity type attack roll.
So it would be a 1d20 plus what?
1d
would it be my
1d20
dexterity
plus 4.
modifier,
Yes, it
or-
would. 1d20 plus 4. So you should be able to just click on that. I think you should have dagger or attack or something like that listed on the one of the buttons at the top.
No, I just have deception, initiative,
Okay.
insight, investigation, blah blah
Okay.
blah blah.
So just /R
Um,
space 1d20 plus 4.
And do I also add the proficiency or no?
That's already added in.
Okay. 20.
That hits. So you will roll damage, which is going to be a 1d6 plus your strength modifier.
This is a 1. 2.
All right, so you throw the javelin, and it pierces through its leather armor, poking a little ways in, and he grunts a little bit from the impact, but you don't think you did a ton of damage to him. It hit him pretty hard, and he seemed to have at least taken something from the impact, but it's not quite as good as you would have hoped.
And then, how far is this thing from me?
10 feet.
So would I be able to move just the 10 and then try to slash it with one of the daggers?
Nope, because you have already used your attack act. You've already used the action, which is an
Then
attack.
can I go over to Father Dimspoon to move him?
Yes, you can. You can move him. I'll allow you to move him as part of your movement, so you can go and
Because
grab
I
him
want
and
to
move
try
him.
to get him in the tent out of firing range.
Okay, I'll say you can do that without a problem.
And
Okay.
then just yell that it's on Oak at this point.
All right.
Because he is bleeding out.
So it is Rhea's turn.
Alright, I have a question. Can you take reactions on your turn?
Yes, you can.
Alright,
What?
so I'm gonna try to run into the
But
bushes.
well, actually,
Specifically
it's
shield.
not. It's not really your turn that a reaction comes about.
Well, but if they take an opportunity attack on me, would I be able to shield?
Didn't we just talk about that?
Okay. Hold on, I'm getting some kind of
Fascinating.
background noise
Yeah,
from
it's
somebody.
from...
Zoran.
Yeah.
But I'm the one who's having people send him.
Hey, Zoran.
Zoran.
I think they took their headphones off.
Okay, thank you. Hey, if you,
Yeah, sorry.
no problem. It's just we were getting all the background noise from whatever was going on there. So,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, if you have to step away for a second, please make sure to mute yourself somehow.
I muted inline and I thought it would work, but it didn't.
All right, no problem. All right, so no, actually, a reaction is a reaction to something else happening. So, the shield spell is a reaction to someone attacking you.
Yeah, well, if I walk through the bushes and someone takes an opportunity attack,
Then technically, yes.
okay, that's what I
So
wanted
yeah,
to know.
so in
Like, I know
a way,
the
yes.
thing has to happen, but I was just wondering if it could be cast on my turn.
Yes, anything that will trigger whatever that reaction is able to do, then yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
I'm gonna run into the bushes so that, like, into the middle of where these skimpering creatures were,
Okay.
and hopefully 15 feet away from Zoran.
Okay.
I don't know if such a place exists.
I don't know. You can always try.
Alright, that's where I would try to run.
What are they doing
It's dark and
attacking party members?
it's dark and you do not have dark vision. So the further you're getting away from the fire doing this, the harder it is going to be to judge distance. So you could attempt to estimate being 15 feet away from Zoran.
Alright, that's what I would do.
All right. And I will say, go ahead. I assume you're going to do Thunderwave again, is what you're planning.
I will.
Okay.
But this time
Alright.
I'm gonna yell out, "Do you feel the power?"
Okay.
as I cast
Okay.
it.
Now, as you run, you do indeed have 2 attacks of opportunity coming your way.
I will cast Shield as a reaction.
Okay.
So now I have an AC of 21
Yes, you
until
do.
the start of my next turn.
Yes, you do. Man, I'm really sorry to say.
They fucking get me still.
As you run past, both of their scimitars reach out and cut into your sides as you are running past them.
Oh, damn.
One of them hits you for 4 damage.
Okay.
The other hits you for 6.
All right. 2 HP. No problem.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Do they feel the power? I'm gonna cast.
Roll your damage,
Alright,
and we'll see what happens.
yeah, let me open this.
There's
We'll do it.
one,
Hopefully the
two.
thing casts properly. No, but the damage is right.
Yeah. Ouch! That's heavy. So you hear just awful death screams,
What I
and
like to hear.
you see the two that just hit you. You know exactly where they are because, well, they
They
hit
just
you.
hit me.
And you see two others that are a little further, and you see all four of those bodies fling out from you and thump, into the bushes. They all land. You don't hear anything else.
And then I'm going to bonus action cast Healing Light on myself for
Healing
two.
word? Okay.
Not Healing Word, Healing Light.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, that's right.
celestial.
That's right.
And then I'll get 2d6 healing
Yep.
on myself.
Okay, so go ahead and roll that.
2d6.
All right. 8 hit points back. Very nice. Okay. So, now, Zoran, you have drawn the ire of some of these goblins as one of them runs up to you, and I'm pretty sure your AC is less than 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. And slashes you with its scimitar, cutting you deep, doing 7 damage. And another one fires a short bow in your direction, hitting you for 3 damage as an arrow sticks into your leg. Dalian, an arrow flies towards you.
I thought we went into the tent.
Oh, that's right. You are in the tent, so this would be towards Oak then, because he's the only other one out.
Yay.
And an arrow flies towards you, Oak, and
Sorry.
just barely misses you.
Yes.
And it is now Zoran's turn.
So there's one right up on me.
There is one right in your face.
I will take my staff, whack it in the head, and be like, "Bad green skin."
All right. Well, there's the damage, but I don't see the attack.
Yeah, just
Missed
I clicked
the...
on the wrong thing.
Uh.
Let's try this. 12.
Ah,
Mm-mm.
darn. You swing, and this one just ducks out of the way.
And then I will try to kick the little
Okay.
bastard.
As you swing with your quarterstaff and it ducks, it lines up directly with your foot, and you give it a solid kick right in the chest, sending it back onto its butt, where it coughs for a second and then stands right back up. But that clearly hurt it. It is not happy with that. The big guy turns towards Oak and swings its scimitar, catching Oak right across the forearm as Oak had swung his axe down
Yeah.
for 6 slashing damage, reduced to half because you're raging.
Oh, yay! So.
Yep, because you are immune to, or you are resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing while you're raging. Trust
I
me.
know, I'm just counting numbers.
Yep. Trust me, I know because I play barbarians a lot. All right, so that's its turn. It is now your turn, Oak.
Well, Oak is very angry. He's going to shift into his more wolf-like form
All right.
and gain
Is
4
that
temporary.
is that a bonus action for you to
It
shift?
is.
All right.
It is.
Very good.
And I gain 4 temporary hit points.
Outstanding maneuver. Pro
And
gamer move right there.
yeah. And Oak is going to. Oak is going to go try and bite.
Okay.
The,
Okay.
bite the. So. I'm just. I don't think it.
Roll for your bite.
Oh, okay. What's the command to roll?
/R.
Okay.
And then space, and then you type in the dice you want. So it should be 1d20 plus whatever your bonus is for the bite attack.
Okay.
Natural 20. Look at you.
She
That's not a dice
did
roll.
put the D in there.
Yeah, you
She
did.
just-
No, you
Yeah.
just typed in 20. Yeah. So
Yeah.
never. Oh, it was so exciting for just a second.
Yay!
So /R.
I say let her keep it.
No. No, you gotta put the D in there. Oh,
And
stop
then-
with your dirty minds.
You're the one that's not it.
I said
Hey,
nothing.
Yes,
that-
but we know we're
No,
dealing with children.
D20
from
not-
earlier.
Okay,
D.
I don't.
It's D20, not 20D. /R space D20
Okay.
plus 5.
D20. Yay!
There we go. And that hits you as it slices across your forearm with its scimitar. You just all of a sudden change a little bit. Your teeth getting a little bit longer. You're getting a little bit more hairy, and your claws getting longer. And while still holding onto your axe, you chomp down right on its shoulder. Roll
Okay.
damage.
Tear out its jugular.
That's plus
Damn.
2.
+2, so 6 damage.
Would my rage?
Rage damage
melee-
applies.
So that's
8.
That's, yeah, 8.
Okay, so you do 8 damage.
Nom,
He
nom,
does
nom, nom.
not like that one bit. He is not happy at that at all.
Tasty goblin.
All right, and I believe that is the end of your turn. Dalian, you are up.
I'm just scrambling through the priest's things, trying to find a healing potion or some shit to heal him with.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
No.
It's not hard because he's got stuff. Yet you still rolled really low. You're having trouble finding it. But I'll tell
I
you
have
what.
like 3 actions.
Yep,
so...
I'll tell you what. You use your action to search. You're having a little trouble, but I'll say you use your bonus action and you do find a healing potion that is in his stuff.
And then I'll use the third one to just pour down.
Well, it's not really a third one. There's move is just for movement, and then you have an action and a bonus action. Reaction is typically not on your turn, but basically you have like a move and a half. Each round is only 6 seconds long. So basically, you rifled through his bag looking for a healing potion, and you managed to find one buried at the bottom. But
Then can't he take it and drink it?
yes, he can. But you found the potion. He can take it and drink it when it comes around for him.
Well, he's not in the listing, so...
Right, but he's still there. So he's just not really able to be doing anything effective right now
Although,
because he's bleeding
Can I
out.
take the javelin and arrow out of him?
Yeah, I'll allow you to do that too. Not
Cause,
very gently, but yes, you can.
Cause the wounds won't heal if they're still in him. So, cause it'll keep it
Maybe
from
the,
closing.
maybe they will.
Well, because if you have an object inside your leg and the wound tries to heal around said object, it won't fully heal because it's blocking it from closing up.
I don't
Hence why
know.
you have to remove them before you suture them.
I don't know. Magical world might be different. But yes, I'll allow you to pull those as well.
Either way, you're taking them out, and that's probably going to cause more blood to gush out.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
gonna drink the potion, so it's
He's
fine.
gonna drink the potion.
Yeah, but more blood.
And
Rhea, you are up.
Alright, I'm gonna turn around, see the goblin engaged in combat with Zoran. I'm gonna concentrate on my crystal to cast my favorite spell. But, for some reason, it's fire and not force. And I'm gonna cast Firebolt.
Firebolt. All right, so roll your attack, and you're attacking which goblin again? Just one of the ones facing
The
Zoran.
one, yeah, one of the ones on Zoran.
Okay.
and
Actually,
nothing is
not-
there.
Alright, I got this. Don't. Got this. I don't got this. I'm gonna,
Lily says no.
it's identical to Eldritch Blast except for the damage. So I'm just gonna
There we
cast
go.
Eldritch Blast for now,
Yep.
but it's fire.
That will hit, and then the damage from your firebolt should be 1d10.
Which is the same as Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't
So
have
yeah, it's fine then. So that's 7 damage. So you cast your firebolt, and it slams into the back of this thing's head as it's just got up from being kicked in the chest, and it went back on its ass, got up, and now you rock it from behind, and it falls forward, and it's out.
And then Rhea's just gonna have this like very surprised feeling. She's like, "That wasn't what I wanted." And that's my turn.
All right. Now, the goblins send one arrow towards Oak
Hmm.
and one arrow towards Rhea. Rhea, the arrow goes straight at you,
Can I have a paper towel?
and as you duck around one of the trees, it slams into a tree. Oak,
I like how they all get to dodge and I get a javelin to the shoulder.
as you dodged 2 arrows earlier, so don't worry about it. That would have not been good for you, because they rolled pretty high damage on that too.
Oh no.
Oak, the other arrow, being that you are clamped onto their leader,
Mm-hmm.
you are kind of a little bit more of a stationary target for the moment, and
Yeah.
it ends up striking you in the back,
Okay.
doing 8 points of piercing damage, reduced to 4 because you're raging.
Okay. All his temporary hit points are gone.
Zoran, you are now up. There are, from what you have been able to tell, there is still the larger goblin, and at least 2, because of the number of arrows you saw, other goblins, and those other goblins are somewhere in the bushes, probably with about 10 feet or 15 feet away from you. You do have dark vision, if I remember correctly, so you could probably see. You can see exactly where they are. So they're about 10 feet away from you, and they were firing.
I'll go after the little ones
Okay.
and swing at one with my staff.
And you smack it hard. And
Hold on, I gotta add the D4 lightning damage.
yep. I was waiting for that. There you go. All right. So that one, as you hit it hard with the staff, you hit it right in the chest, and it takes this big impact. And lightning courses from your staff into its body, lighting up the area around you momentarily. as it collapses.
And is the other one still
The
right
oth-
next to me too?
yes,
Can I kick it?
absolutely. And you do indeed kick it as you slam your quarterstaff into the one. You spin around, and your heel, flying through the air, comes at the perfect height to smack the goblin right upside the head and knock it a little bit dizzy. He's still up, but he's not happy.
All right.
All right, and that's it for your turn. The goblin boss, now squaring off with Oak, is not too pleased with what's going on. He takes a swing and gets a critical hit.
God damn it.
Where's the grave cleric when you need one?
Doing as he swings down hard right at the juncture between your shoulders and your neck. The blade sinks in deep, doing 10 points of slashing damage, reduced to 5
Oh, good.
because you're raging.
2 hit points.
Oh, wow. I thought that was going to take you down.
Nope.
All right. So
Those temporary hit points really helped.
yeah, they did. He then, seeing you still up, uses his bonus action and disengages. He moves 30 feet away from you, running for the trees. It is now your turn. He is now 30 feet away.
You could come get a potion so you don't die.
Yeah, but he's raging right now, so he doesn't think. Oak is gonna take that javelin that was in his arm.
Okay.
He's gonna rip it out. And he's gonna throw it at
Okay.
the
All right. Roll your attack.
ranged, right?
Yes. You actually have javelins in your inventory, so
Yeah.
it's 1d20 plus 4. Nice. You definitely hit. Too bad you didn't have advantage, or you would have got a nat 20 there.
Yeah.
And you did max damage plus your raging.
Which is 2.
So, show me what you got.
Honestly, I just want this to go straight through his back and pin him to the ground.
Okay. So, as Oak takes a massive blow from a scimitar that would fell pretty much anybody and manages to hold on, this goblin boss, with fear in his eyes, runs for the trees. When then Oak then pulls this javelin from his body and launches it with such strength and precision that it goes right through the back of this goblin, through his armor, through his chest, out, and as he falls, due to the force of the impact, it sticks into the dirt, and he is now kind of sitting there, half suspended above the dirt by this javelin that has gone completely through his chest.
Oak he's just gonna move up to the guy, and the guy he just killed. Grab the javelin, not take it or anything, just hold it in his hand, and he's just gonna scream right at the dead body.
Okay. And that is your turn.
Yes.
Now, Dalian, it is your turn. You have found the potion. You have the Father Dimspoon has taken it from you, and he has you've pulled the stuff out of it, and he drank it. He is now looking much better. but he's he's still not 100%, but he's looking much better. And it is now your turn.
I would go out to fight, but I kind of want to make sure he doesn't die.
Okay.
Besides, nothing is within range, even if I leave the tent. So.
Okay. All right. So that's the end of your turn then. So Rhea, you are up.
So, are there any like enemies that I can actually see near me
That
anymore?
that you can see. Roll me perception at disadvantage because this is out in the dark and far away from you.
Yeah, sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Wow. Holy crap.
She is like in tune for this fight. She's fucking ready.
Yes, you can see over by Zoran, who's about 40 feet away from you. He was in a different direction of where some of the other goblins were. There is a goblin next to him that is not looking so good. You don't see any others around, though.
Alright, I'm gonna go to cast my favorite spell of all time, Eldritch Blast.
Or Fireball or Eldritch Blast. Or Firebolt or Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast this time. Okay, so go ahead and roll it. So you cast a blast of arcane energy. It flies out. It lights up the night as it is racing towards its target and just goes a little bit wide. You still have bonus action. Anything else?
I don't think there's like any bonus actions I can actually do anymore. No. I'm just gonna walk up to one of the like dead goblin bodies and start just looking through it.
Okay. All right. It is now the goblin's turn. And this little goblin looks up at you, Zoran. Quickly looks around. Drops its scimitar. It says, I surrender! I surrender! No kill Oog! No kill Oog!
Oh, guys! We could recruit the goblin to gather information for us if we don't kill it.
And that's its turn. It is now Zoran's turn.
If we don't kill the goblin, we can make him gather information for us.
But see, Oak wants to kill the goblin, even though I
But
don't.
if we don't kill the goblin,
But
do you know
Oak
how
is
good
mad.
it is to have goblin
not your
guys
turn.
on your team?
Not your turn.
What
It's
I
currently
will-
Zoran's turn.
What I will do is just push it over and walk away like it means nothing.
Okay. So you do such. And it is now Oak's turn.
Okay.
Don't kill the goblin.
Oh, he's gonna go up to that little goblin.
Okay.
He's gonna smash it with his great axe.
All right.
He wants
Roll.
to
There
turn
goes
it
the opportunity to having goblins.
Roll
on
your
team.
attack.
He wants to turn it into. I wanted to turn him into jelly.
You
but-
swing, and you are in such a rage and on such an adrenaline rush that you're not really even seeing straight. Your eyes are like blurry because you're just so angry. That
Not to mention the blood loss.
Yes, that you swing and your axe comes down right next to it, and it is. Is that? That smells like pee. You think it pissed itself.
And then he screams in the goblin's face too, because he's mad he didn't hit him.
All right. It is now Dalian's turn.
Is that the only goblin that's left?
You don't know. You've been in the tent.
That doesn't help me.
Well, you don't have that information.
I would ask the father if he's not gonna keel over now.
I'm fine. Just check on the others.
You sure? Because you look
Yes.
like death.
I'm fine. Please.
She would at least go and look outside the tent to see what's going on.
You look outside the tent. You see Oak who has just buried his axe in the dirt next to a goblin, which, because of your dark vision, you can actually see that that's going on. You see Zoran actually kind of walking away from uh, that situation because they basically just pushed the goblin over and headed back towards the campfire. And you see Rhea out there looking like she's bent over one of the goblin bodies and like rummaging around in its clothing or
Rhea's
something.
Rhea. Rhea's always gonna loot bodies.
Uh, that's what you see.
Upon seeing that, Dalian would take the chance to walk over to the knocked over goblin and offer two things to it.
Okay.
Either
It'll take you your movement and your action to get over there, so then you can speak. So you're basically using your whole turn to walk over there, and then you can speak to it.
essentially it gets two choices. Either we kill you here and now and use your body as a deterrent after tearing out your internal organs, or you can make it very clear no one is to come near this caravan again.
No kill Oog! No kill Oog!
So Oog will go tell the others to stay away.
Yeah, yeah. Away! Stay away! No problem! No kill Oog!
Then get
Alright. It's not its turn, so Rhea, you are up.
Upon hearing all of this, how far am I away from the goblin?
Still about 40 feet.
It's too far.
good. There's a reason to talk to the goblin, not just kill it.
Alright, so I'm gonna run up to the goblin and use dash to get right up to the goblin.
Okay, so you use your move and then use your action to dash, so you're right up next to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna put my hand on the goblin and say, "Don't go anywhere." And then I'm gonna look to Dalian and be like, "You can make him work for us. We don't have to let him go."
You are the most annoying halfling in my existence. I hope you realize this.
Okay.
Power is power,
All right.
wherever it comes from.
And you're still annoying.
All right. Now, no long soliloquies. Can't have a full conversation. Only 6 seconds in a round. So that's about as much as you guys can get out. But it is now its turn. And it looks at Rhea, who told it to stay. And it looks at Dalian, who told it to go. And it's looking back and forth and back and forth. And it looks like it's about to cry. And that is where we are going to end tonight.
Aw, man. I had a plan.
There's a point to what people do.
All right. Well, I hope you guys had fun this session.
I did.
Good. I hope anybody watching enjoyed the stream, and that you'll join us next week, and from there on out. So until next time, have a good night.